Walker with the right hand gets all the way to Root. And slams it home.
We got a bunch of dogs on this side. We're willing to fight for 40 minutes.
And the Owls will hold on and win the Little East Conference Championship.
Oh boy, what a game!
Welcome to Owls Overtime. It's Friday, March 1st, and I'm your host, Tom Rogers. It's the show where we talk everything KSC sports. Due to some time constraints this week, I didn't have time to go over recaps and previews for next week, so I'm just going to flip it over to my first repeat guest in this week's interview, Athletic Director Marty Testo. All right, I now welcome back to Owls Overtime Athletic Director Marty Testo. Marty, thanks for being here again.
Thanks for having me again. That means I might have been all right the first time if I got an invite back.
Not only that, I thought it was just an appropriate time to have my first repeat guest because we're in the middle of a crazy time in the KSC athletic schedule.
Yeah.
We just had the men's team win the LEC championship. We have the transition of winter sports into spring sports. And of course, in 24 hours, we're hosting the NCAA tournament. So how are you feeling right now as athletic director?
I feel great. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. We have great programs, great student athletes, great coaches, great support. I'm blessed.
Well, I mentioned the transition from winter sports into spring sports, so I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about the sports I didn't get to cover as much as I probably should have the last few weeks. The first one being swimming and diving. They wrapped up their season just recently, and wild stat I read. First time since 2005, the women's team didn't capture the LEC championship, but still, Kylie Young was awesome all season. The men's team had highlights with people like Aaron Turgeon. Excuse me, did I get his name right? I'm sorry about that. Aaron Turgeon, yes, and Cooper Niles. Yep. So there's a lot of highlights still. How did you get to see much of their season?
Yeah, I got to see a few of the meets at home. I obviously stay very close when we're on the road with Coach Woolridge. We're very proud of both of those teams, both finishing in the top three in the Little East for swim and dive. Obviously, they had some tremendous individual accolades as well with some of the swimmers that you mentioned. But, yes, everybody's going to talk about that. They didn't win the women's title since 2005. It's hard to stay on top. It's hard to be the chased. And eventually all those things, people catch you. But it's also a good opportunity to little check, little re-energize, and get right after it. And all signs from Coach Woolridge have been great. Again, they're very happy with the season that they had as a team and individually. And they'll be back.
Well, unsurprisingly, when doing some watching of highlights and reviewing recaps, Kylie Young did come up a bunch. She is a senior. Does she have a fifth-year option?
She's done swimming.
Okay.
Arguably, definitely in my time, the most decorated female swimmer since I've been in this position. Kylie's a tremendous swimmer. What people don't even realize is she's even more of a tremendous person. Kylie, in our minds, was the Little East Swimmer of the Year. That didn't happen. But what I can tell you is what Kylie did on championship day to give up individual accolades to make sure that her team had the best chance of winning a Little East title and swimming at different parts of a relay and stuff like that. No one gets those stories. We're fortunate enough to hear those stories. I'm extremely proud of Kylie and what she did as a person, not just a student athlete. So I'm glad I can call her a student athlete at Keene State College.
Absolutely. And then with the likes of Aaron Turgeon and Cooper Niles, who I mentioned on the men's team, I think the women's team has rising stars in Rory Lee, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing this, tough last name for me, Megan Strzagowski?
Great.
I got it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Unfortunately, I've only read the name because there's not a bunch of highlights to go off of, so my reviewing and recapping of the swimming team hasn't been the most thorough, I must admit. That's why we're talking about it now, because you're someone who has a lot of that info.
Well, and Abe is really my person with helping pronunciate names. It's like right up his forte, so yeah.
Yeah.
But we again, the recap or the meeting I had with Coach Woolridge at the end of the year, we feel good where we are. We feel good where we are, and obviously every year you lose big pieces. But, what's coming back and some of the young opportunities and success that the swimmers had on both sides with the men and the women, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, I think we're in great hands. Now, to talk about another sport I didn't get to cover as much as I'd like is indoor track. Indoor track was kind of cool to cover because I found out there's quite a few dual sport athletes. Jocelyn Tyler, Tommy Ehlers, they come to mind. But the person I read about and saw the most of, I'm sure you might be able to guess who that is.
Well, it's either Maggie or Kyle.
It's Maggie.
Or both, Maggie.
Yeah. Now, she's also on the outdoor track team. She is a senior, too. She's been incredible for us. What has she meant to both our track teams?
Well, again, it's a special person because not only is she competes at a high level as a student athlete, but she's just a special kid. And I use the word kid because to me it's a kid. But no, I mean, I have Maggie in class. She's always positive. Again, she makes her teammates better by just being there, pushing them. But yeah, she has individual goals and she's wired different. I always say those type of cross country, track and field athletes, they're wired different. They compete against a clock every day, a time, right? They don't look to their left and to the right all the time or against a one-on-one against somebody. They're competing against a time. So Maggie's, arguably one of the most decorated, female runners that this program has ever seen. And you're talking about a program, cross country, indoor track, outdoor track, that has been very, very successful at Keene State College. I think we forget that sometimes, and we shouldn't. And Coach Rourke has done a tremendous job with this group and, bringing them to where they are. And, I hate to be the person to say it, but we do this without a track. We don't have a track. We train outside or we train wherever we can train to be the best we can be. So these student athletes are, we don't get to go practice on our competition track because we don't have one. So.
Does Maggie have a fifth-year option?
She does. Maggie does have a fifth-year option, and we're trying to help her in that decision right now. She has some options. She's looking to pursue a master's degree, and we're looking to see if we can help her with that.
Sounds good. So, I mean, both indoor track, swimming and diving, things are still looking up despite losing some key pieces here and there. I mentioned Tommy Ehlers of the indoor track team. He showed us with his vertical and speed why he's an outfielder on the baseball team. Their season just started. I am really excited about it. How about you, Marty?
Yeah, I got to meet Tommy last year when I was helping Coach Blood with the baseball team. He's a good athlete, for sure. I didn't know he had this other side in him. So he's doing some sprinting for Coach Rourke, but also they've revved up their season. They just got back from Maryland with a 2-1 trip, and they got 4 more this weekend for baseball. The dual sport athletes are special. It's also very taxing on the body. I think at times, we have a few of them that are doing it right now. We also have a couple dual sport athletes with track in our new esports program, which is awesome. So, Tommy's a special athlete along with some other dual sport people. And, I enjoyed my time when I was in a dugout with Tommy. I haven't seen him on a track. I've seen him on bases. The kid can run.
I called a game last year where Jonathan Chatfield of the baseball team, he hit a grand slam. It was so cool to see him and guys like Ehlers. They make me confident that at the very least, they're going to be a fun team to watch. But I think with Coach Blood, it's going to be a team that not only gets more wins than they did last season, I think in the next few years, it will eventually be one of the top programs in the LEC for baseball. Have you gotten to talk with Coach Blood about the state of the team and its future? Yeah,
I check in with Justin quite a bit. I've known Justin for a long time. I'm very excited that he is running our baseball program now. And, I think between him and the staff that he's put together and the student athletes that he's already brought here, his expectation is to win. And, I'm extremely confident that he's going to do that for us.
Now, I don't want to forget about lacrosse or softball. Their season starts in mid-March. I'm sure you're looking forward to those busy days at the Owl Athletic Complex when you got baseball, softball, and lacrosse all going on. It's a great environment over there.
Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. So softball's had a couple scrimmages and have bowed pretty well. Both our lacrosse teams are off and running. The men are currently 0-4, but they've played a tough schedule. We're looking forward to them getting into Little East play, and our women are currently 1-0. So yeah, everybody's off and running in spring. We're going, we're full throttle, full steam ahead.
Now, before we talk about the men's basketball team, I think we should recap the women's season. All things considered, I thought it was a pretty resilient year from the Owls women. Valerie Lutzy got more confident in her shooting, like you said in episode 1. Sam Lee, Lily Krasinski, great rim protectors. They were without a veteran presence with Ariana Murray for the second half of the season. And I think most exceptionally LEC Rookie of the Year. I'll say it again, LEC Rookie of the Year. Bryn Radiola stepped up in a huge way. What did you take away from their season? Was it a success in your opinion?
Yes, in my opinion, yes. It really depends on how you explain or define success. I think in the coaching world, especially at the collegiate level, we have such a tendency to define success on wins and losses, and rightfully so at times. This team was really plagued by some injuries, some players leaving the team early on, and in my opinion, what they were able to do through the longest athletic season we have, right? Let's be honest, basketball is a grind. Not that other sports are, but it is long. I think it's pretty incredible that they were able to finish their season the way they did, unfortunately with a tough loss in the first round of the LEC. But I think that these student athletes learned a lot about themselves, and I think the future is bright. I think Bryn did have a great year as a freshman and a great accolade to be named Little East Rookie of the Year. But I thought, with Val really stepped up this year and took her game to a different level. And losing Jackie with the injury late in the season, like Jackie was the glue. And you know what? To watch her stay the glue even though she couldn't play was really special. That's a special student athlete. That's somebody that team will miss dearly next year because of her leadership and her ability to bring those and keep those girls together with a really strong culture and chemistry. But they bring back good pieces, and we're hoping Ariana's able to come back. We have Kenzie Bennett coming off an injury, and she should be back. And then they got some nice new pieces coming in, and Sam will be back. So they return a lot, and they have a lot to build on from what they what they put together this year.
Now, something we did talk about in episode 1 is just the general success of certain programs are going to just attract more talent. I think Coach Boucher is in a great position with the squad he has and will eventually build upon.
Yeah, that's the plan. Coach Boucher's been here a long time. He knows what it takes to be successful, and we've touched base about recruiting. And our coach, he's just one of many of our coaches that feel like the recruiting process is going well. And it is in a little bit of a lull. If everybody knows, nationwide with the FAFSA is really taking a toll on having kids commit to schools until they really know what the bottom line price is going to be. But we feel like we're in a good spot, and we've had a lot of support with that through admissions and financial aid to help us along that process.
Well, let's shift to the men's basketball team. They continue to make history. First time in 29 years, we've got a three-peat in the LEC. The energy in that building was electrifying in that last stretch of the game against WestCon. That had to feel amazing, not just seeing the team win the championship, but just how thrilled the community was. Yeah,
the support from the community has been unbelievable. And again, we're very fortunate to be in this city, this town, and have people embrace us on our campus like this. We really are. But at the end of the day, that's a special basketball team, right? That is a special basketball team, and they've fought through some adversity this year as well, right? You're talking about a team that is under new direction, and Coach Hastings and his staff has done a tremendous job with this team. They've had some influx with players, the injury bug, some players leave, but through and through, they've been able to stay together, right? And we know, they have talent, but they got some glue too, right? Jeff Hunter, that's glue. Right?
Oh yeah,
like he's like the big father figure there. He's the old man, but the old man can still play a little bit too, can he?
Oh yeah.
So no, it's they're fun to watch, but the support they receive from the community and the student body has been great, and I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
Well, speaking of this weekend, in 24 hours, the Owls play Marymount in the NCAA tournament. I'm a college student. I've got a job. I've got this podcast. I'm pretty busy. Sadly, I haven't really had the time to do much scouting report on Marymount. Have you had any chance to see how we shape up against them? Or
yeah, you know what, Tom? I coached a long time, and early on in my career, I used to get caught up in scouting. And I know basketball is a different animal, right? But at this point or at this juncture in the season, for me, I'm worried about us. I'm worried about us. I know what we can do, and I know what we can't do. Okay, and I'm hoping, I'm sure, I know Coach Hastings and his staff has probably watched more film on the 3 teams that are coming here this weekend to be prepared than ever. But at the end of the day, I feel really confident that if our team goes out there and plays the way they're capable of playing, we're going to be in a really good position tomorrow night to move on to Saturday. And that's no disrespect to Marymount. I just feel like we're that type of basketball team right now.
I feel the exact same way. I was going to say, I mean, between, the rim protection Jeff provides, the dual threat of shooting and driving that Alonzo possesses, Nate Seau's got just that tenacity. He hustles so much on the court. He's incredible. I could go on about all of them in that sort of descriptive way, but basically what I'm saying is I expect us to handle business.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan going in. Obviously, we have a lot of options. We have a lot of weapons. 2 All-Americans. Sometimes we forget. Octavio Brito, he is a junior All-American, right? So, I mean, we have some kids. We have some players. And that helps the team in the sense of they don't have to rely on one person every night, right? There's multiple weapons for them going in against teams. So, I'm excited about it. I think the support's great. I really, really, really hope to see the students pack the student section, be loud, be proud, because it's not every day you get to host the NCAAs on your own campus. Embrace this. Appreciate it, okay? Because we're fortunate to be in the position we are.
I totally agree. I had Coach Hastings on last episode, and we talked about his one game at a time mentality. And at that point, he wasn't looking toward the NCAA tournament yet. He still had the championship. Mm-hmm. But now the tournament's here. So have you had a chance to talk with Coach Hastings about his game plan or anything like that?
Yeah, I've had a chance to talk to Coach Hastings a lot. I don't really get in the way with the coaches and their game plan. It's really not me. It's not my job.
Yeah, they're the coach for a reason.
Right, they're coaching. I trust what they're going to do. I support Dave and his staff tenfold. So I just want to make sure that we can take care of the rest from the athletic department so him and his coaches and his teams can just focus on the game. That's really the goal for me, is to make sure that we host the event the way it should be hosted. We want the NCAAs to know we can put a good product out here, and we want the community to know that. We want our students to know that. I want the visiting teams to know that they're coming to a place that knows how to run a first-class operation. And, Abe Oshiak, my associate AD, who's been he's the site manager of this entire thing. He's been awesome. He knows what it takes to put on a good show.
Now, I assume in these last few weeks, not to mention the whole season, but you've probably been around the team a bit lately. Has their mentality seemed like they're ready for this? They want this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think this was a goal for them, right? This is kind of like what they expected to be in this game. They expected to hold court in the Little East tournament. They expected to go to the NCAAs, and they expected to host this round. And you know what? We're here. So, if you want to say, I think it was a realistic goal that they've now achieved. So what's next, right? And I think their expectation is to get out of this pod. I really do.
Well, we're all going to be watching tomorrow, whether it's in person or the live stream, rooting for the Owls. To wrap things up, I was wondering if you've been keeping up with our esports team at all. The inaugural season launched. Rocket League's been the highlight so far.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I have. I've been over there twice. Our Rocket League team just suffered their first loss. So they were undefeated until last Monday. And the other 2 teams, Overwatch and Smash Bros, they were off to a little bit of a slow start. I've talked to Coach Druin. They've played some really tough teams in the league early on. They've been competitive, but they just haven't come out on the winning side. But the new facility over there it's awesome.
I finally got over. It is so cool looking.
So cool. And it's I tell people, until you actually watch that live, it's incredible. There's a warm up. There's the coach talking to them, getting them ready. Then they go in and they compete, and it's that's their arena. That's their field. That's their where they compete and play. It's awesome. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I had Noah on, Coach Noah Druin of the esports teams. That is, I had him on a couple weeks ago. It was so fascinating to get to learn more about how it functions at the collegiate level. I mean, we talked about your experience with video game. You were talking about Frogger.
Yeah, Frogger and Donkey Kong.
Exactly, and I mean, me even. I don't even do that much competitive multiplayer gaming. It was just crazy that Keene State gets to offer this. It's so fortunate we have it. It's really cool.
And we're looking to add more games. I mean, he's building a roster to add more games. I was kind of giving him some, hey, you think we could add a sports game, like FIFA or Y2K? I mean, I'm not really rehearsing them, but I hear the kids talking about them. And so he was laughing. But he's done a great job. I mean, to be able to bring an alum back in that position, to be the inaugural coach of an inaugural team, it's a great story. And he is, hit the ground running. He's been awesome. The vibe over there is great. And, I expect it just to be another sport that we see success at.
Well, it's been a great start of the year for Keene State athletics, and I think it's only going to get better. Thanks for coming on, Marty. Was there anything else you'd like to plug or add?
No, just, tickets are still on sale for the games this weekend. I know our students, we just put student tickets on sale. I think 12 to 2, you can come over to Jim and grab them. Again, I want to thank in advance all the support that we've received from the community, the campus, and you, Tom. Appreciate you giving us the time to come in and talk about such a successful year so far. We really appreciate that. And again, I hope to be a visitor again.
As always, it's an honor to have you on, and I can't wait for that to happen again. Thanks, Marty.
Thank you.